All right, what is up, everybody? What is up? We are here live from the After the Review studios. I'm your host, Pete. What's going on with your Wednesday night? Guys already in the chat. What's up? I wasn't going to keep y'all waiting, not 100% ready, but we're just going to chill, kind of hang out, talk a little bit, going to let people file on in before we hop on into it. Got some draft talk. We can talk Super Bowl. Gonna try and not go too heavy into the Super Bowl talk yet this week. We got 4 or 5 days. I mean, we might go live like every day next week for the Super Bowl. But it is what it is. We got a lot to talk about. There's plenty of intrigue in this game. I know everyone is kind of sad, depressed, waiting for the meteor maybe at this point with how bad this matchup is. But it's going to be okay. We're going to work our way through it. But fun announcement on the stream. So we talked about going to go live after the Super Bowl, and that's definitely going to be the plan. But figured I would give y'all some incentive goals. Give y'all a little bit of incentives. Hang out here. So we will stream during the Super Bowl the entire game. If we can hit it, we got a $400 donation goal. So that counts for anything, any super chats, any gems, any memberships to the channel. You get all sorts of, cool badges. You get our fun emojis. I can throw out my fun emojis we have that you get as a member. All sorts of cool stuff. So anything over the next 9 days, anything leading up to Super Sunday, we'll go into that. I can only keep track of super chats on the stream, but I will go through and manually change it throughout the week. That counts for any video, any live streams, anything like that. So new fun goal for us. I believe in everybody, and for every $100, basically, we'll stream a quarter. So if we get to only $100, I'll stream the entire fourth quarter with you guys. If we get to $250, I'll do the whole second half. And if we get to $4, I'll do the whole game. So we got a couple of incentives there on top of it. Should be a lot of fun for everybody, but I guess we can just hop on into it, get going. Let's get a poll going here. What should we poll? Here we go. Are you watching? Are you going to watch the Super Bowl? Just figuring out how I wanted to word that. Are you going to watch the Super Bowl? Hell, unfortunately. How about unfortunately? Yes. Unfortunately, yes. Oh my God. Typing like a potato over here. No, I hate football. NFL. All right, so we got a poll up for everybody. Are you going to watch the Super Bowl, or no, you're fed up with Roger Goodell being a bad man, being the bad, mean, evil man out there? So all right, and if you haven't already, drop a quick like on the stream. Really helps the stream out a lot. Gets us out into the algorithm. Yeah, let's just hop into it. Let's do our NFL draft. Oh, what am I grabbing onto? Oh, I got all sorts of new stuff over here on the stream setup, trying to go through a million things. Let's look at our mock draft simulator. So the draft order, not 100% official yet, but it's pretty official. We're pretty locked in on what our draft order is going to be. Only the last 2 picks. Whoever wins the Super Bowl will be picking at 32. The loser's going to be picking at 31. Maybe it's fixed. Maybe they just know the Chiefs are already winning, having them at 32. PFF is in on it. No, it's not. They just, they have the better record, so they've been sorting them by record. But let's, we can hop into a full mock here if we want to. Just kind of play around with it. I'll let you guys do some of the picks here. We can look at the big board, figure out where we're going with here, as long as I'm in control of everybody. let's just do the first round. Excuse me, guys. Speed doesn't really matter. Let's just enter the draft. So Tennessee's sitting on the clock here at number 1. What are we going to do here? What are we going to do? Let me just edit this. You know what? NFL draft talk. We don't need to talk about the Super Bowl. Let me edit the title here. See if that plays a little bit better. So when we look at the draft here, Tennessee's sitting at number 1. Tennessee has a boatload of needs. Obviously, the biggest need, probably quarterback. But this is easily the worst quarterback draft we've had in years. I mean, it is bad. Really bad quarterback draft overall. And the free agent market is terrible. Like, we're looking at Sam Darnold and Justin Fields. Daniel Jones is your top free agent quarterbacks. It's bad. Like, we've reached new levels of low if that's what we're looking at. They trade up and get Tom Brady. Tom Brady probably would be a better answer even for 1 year than what the Titans are probably going to be stuck with here. Now, I don't think the Titans are going to trade this pick. They could try and trade this pick. I don't think they are going to trade this pick. So I think they're going to stay here. Let's see. Ravens' first-round pick should be Deion Walker. I like Deion Walker, kind of one of my sleeper guys. I don't think he needs to be a first-round pick. I don't think he's going to slide up too much. I don't know if he's at the Senior Bowl this week. I've been seeing some of the Senior Bowl highlights. And it's not great. Some guys, our guy Mike Green blew up our other guy, the tackle out of Oregon. We kind of gassed up last draft stream. Conley. So that wasn't great for us, talking about him potentially being the first overall guy. Let's look where Deion Walker's grade is. Deion Walker, PFF grade 74. So I know going into the season, they really liked him, but he did not have a very good or productive year this year. Kentucky as a whole was weird. You know, half his sacks, didn't get his hits, half his hurries. You know, he had 3 batted passes, but sorry, guys. I am tired. I worked out very hard today, trying to not be chonky. But he just kind of underdelivered all season. Now, it was a super weird season for Kentucky. I think Kentucky thought they were going to be a lot better than they were. 74 grade against a true pass rush. That's not bad for an interior D lineman. But he had a bad run defensive grade. So he's not really stopping the run either. He's a big man, 6'6", 345. Definitely fits that Ravens kind of mold. A much better version of Michael Pierce's bum ass for them. So he definitely fits there with them. But yeah, you just don't want Sean, you want a better pick with your first round pick. If you're going with a good rotational piece, that's a second or third round guy. Your first round pick needs to be a starter. If you're not drafted a guy who can start for your team within 2 years, I personally don't think that's worth a pick. I don't think that's worth making that pick. Jeez, I'm falling apart, guys. Falling apart. A lot of people do have flaws, but it's a super deep defensive tackle draft. I'm not falling in love with Deion Walker as my first round pick. I mean, I would take Walter Nolan before Walker in my first round pick. Walter Nolan had a couple of mediocre seasons at A&M, had a great season this year. At Ole Miss does have a little bit of a energy problem. I shouldn't say drive. Like, you question his drive, but a monster game against Georgia, a really good game against Mississippi State. I dock him a little bit for that. A good game against South Carolina. Big guy in the trenches, can get after the quarterback. Really great against the run, like anchor on the run. 91.6 run grade for Nolan against the run. And a pretty good true pass rush grade, 80.8. Walter Nolan's a very interesting guy. Was a 5-star recruit coming out, 6'3", 305. A little bit smaller, but he adds a lot more just great in the run defense. Does Tennessee trade for a quarterback or draft for a quarterback? So going back to Tennessee, I think the options are here. You can either maybe do a sign and trade with Sam Darnold and the Vikings. Maybe you can just straight up sign Sam Darnold. or you are guaranteed another year and you don't have to take a quarterback. So there are some rumors floating around that Brian Callahan, as much as I didn't like him, might be secure, and there's getting to be some real buzz that they might go with the best player in the draft. And that would be Abdul Carter, in my personal opinion. I think Abdul Carter is probably the best overall player in this draft, and he is a game wrecker, guys. True game wrecker. So I think this is interesting. If I am the Titans, I'm kind of have my hand forced. I don't love any of these quarterbacks, but you kind of need to draft a quarterback here. I personally don't think Brian Callahan's going to get his job. Like, you can say he's going to keep his job, like ownership and new GM and shit like that. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything until they're watching Will Levis or Daniel Jones go out there, sling the rock, and go 4-12 or 4-15 again, or 4-12, whatever the hell, 4-13. I got it. I would eventually get to it. 4-13 again. So that's just, I don't feel like it's an option for Tennessee. I think they should trade back and pick up on picks. And then you can maybe get our guy, maybe you slide back a little bit. Maybe you take Shadur Sanders early. Maybe we get our guy Kyle McCord in the second round with those picks. You reach a little bit just to make sure you get a good quarterback. But it's not working out with Will Levis. Ravens next year will lose Michael Pierce, Brent Urban, and Travis Jones. They will be on their last year of their deals. Yeah, the Ravens are good drafters. I assume they're going to go past. They could go line. They need tackles. They also need a wide receiver. They desperately need a wide receiver. And 27 is probably a good place to take a wide receiver. Like, Zay Flowers is fine. He's not an elite number one. Maybe the Ravens trade up. The Ravens have been aggressive. They have traded up before. They get aggressive and go get players. Ravens could trade out of the first round. Yeah, they're picking at 27. Not an ideal spot for wide receivers if we're going to just look at, it's a good spot for D linemen. You can say there again, it's a super deep D tackle draft. Wide receivers, Matthew Golden, maybe if he slides to you, is a potential. Emeka Egbuka, if Ibuka's on the board, I'm taking Egbuka. He goes perfectly. Pair him with Zay Flowers, pairs perfectly with him. Kind of two complementary wide receiver pieces. I like those matchups. Ravens will trade back most likely. I don't care. Never trade up. Yeah, but they do trade up Juju. I think they traded up for Kyle Hamilton. Or did they trade up for Kyle Hamilton, or did they trade up for Lindenbaum? They traded up in that 2022 draft. I've been looking at people, and the people who the Ravens might be looking at, they can get in the later rounds. Yeah, it's a deep draft on the D-line. It's not a very deep receiver draft, in my personal opinion. It's a weird tackle draft. Like, if you need a right tackle, it's a little bit better. Not great left tackles. And a lot of these guys project as guards. So a lot of our tackles here project as guards. Like, Will Campbell's a right tackle. Josh Simmons, guard. Kelvin Banks, left tackle. Membu, guard. Cornerly, tackle. And he got blown up by Mike Green today. Crazy. Wyatt Millum, I think Millum is a guard too. He's a tackle, 6'6", 317. Gray Zabel, playing at guard in the Senior Bowl. Guard. Cameron Williams, right tackle. So, first 58 spots, a lot of guards, not a whole lot of tackles out there. And then the guard straight up listed as guards. Tyler Booker's okay. Tate Ratledge, I like. Like, it's a pretty deep guard draft in the top 100 for us. Let's see. Hearing a lot of players are trash at the Senior Bowl. Yeah, some are trash, some are good. Like Mike Green. Oh my God, the video of Mike Green was crazy today. He destroyed our guy Connolly Jr. Destroyed him off the edge. Like, PFF rank 11 on the board. 11 on the board now, Mike Green. He is having a monster day. Gray Zabel looked good in the interior. There were a couple of good linemen. I've heard the tackles have looked really bad against these edge rushers, but it's an elite edge rusher class. We got James Pierce all the way up at 9 now. Mykel Williams. Shamar Stewart is dominating the Senior Bowl. Like, he's easily got a first-round grade now. Jack Sawyer's popping up. Nick Scorton's doing okay. Like, really, really deep pass rusher draft now. These edge guys. Not necessarily the true game. Like Abdul Carter's your Myles Garrett, TJ Watt. I think he's more of a Myles Garrett build, but he's a true game record. James Pierce, also a great pass rusher this year. I mean, 6'5", 243, exactly what you want. He's young. Look at these grades, though. 90 last year, 87 this year. That's the kind of consistency you want. Played 2 more snaps this year, so basically the same snaps. Getting after it. 257 pass rush snaps this year. 8 sacks, 43 hurries. 4 hits, 8 sacks, 43 hurries. My man gets after the quarterback, and he's really good against the run. You can't abuse him in the run game. So guys like James Pierce, who kind of slipped out a little bit as Tennessee was lighting it up early in the middle of the season, lost a little bit, but you see a lot of these guys kind of underperform. We've seen a lot of these pass rushers just maybe underperform their expectations. Like, personally, just watching both these A&M guys, Shamar Stewart, Nick Scorton, and who's the other? We had the other Shamar over there. Whatever. It's just a lot of underproduction. Walter Nolan was not a very productive guy last year. I'm just starting to think it's my piece of shit school that can't put out productive deep pass rushers out there. So, the corners coming out in the draft, they're banged up and they're going to have surgery. Yes. So, corners, perfect. Travis Hunter, potentially a corner. I like him better as a wide receiver. Cornerbacks, yeah. Will Johnson's going to be a high pick. Benjamin Morrison would be he would be in that top 10, probably in that top 5. He's coming off of an injury there. And then I think there's a pretty decent drop-off between Barron, Amos, Revel, Porter, whoever you like better there. You know, Maxwell Hairston, a lot of potential, kind of a raw guy, junior. But really, it's the top 3 corners for me. And I don't even know how good of a corner Travis Hunter is in the NFL. So I really think it's just the 2 corners right now. They'll bring back Ronnie Staley. We'll see. I have to look at the Ravens cap. Free agency obviously is going to tell. No, they traded Hollywood for Lindenbaum. Kyle fell to the Ravens. There you go. They got that extra. They did that trade on draft night, though. Didn't they do that Hollywood Brown trade on draft night to move up? I think that's what it was then. Trey Harris predicted him in the 4th round. The edge class is pretty deep. Yeah, the D-line class is deep as shit. We're going full Ravens now with Juju and Jashawn. I like it. That's why the Ravens are going to re-sign Rodney, staying back. Yeah, they're not in a good spot either. At 27, it is. So, all right, let's get back into the actual like kind of mock draft thing we're putting together here. They only have $6 million. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad cap space. So not a whole lot of flexibility there. Kind of makes sense. You're paying a quarterback. You're paying Derrick Henry. You're paying a lot of people across the board on that defense too. All right, so I think with the first pick, we're not going to get cute. I think the Titans are going to go quarterback, and I think the Titans are going to go Cam Ward. I think the Titans go Cam Ward here. I think they're happy with it. They're not going to reach. And it's kind of what you have to do. We're kind of at a point where the quarterback is just such a overweighted position where if you don't have a good quarterback, you can't be competitive in the NFL. You can have a great roster around you. If your quarterback is mediocre to bad, you're not making the postseason. Like, name a bad quarterback that made the playoffs this year that was bad in the regular season. Like, you can't. You really can't. You can have average quarterbacks make it with good rosters and great coaching, but you're not going to have a bad quarterback. And I think the ceiling on Cam Ward is a little limited. Interesting career, has been in college for a while, but he's still not super old. I think he's only 23, Cam Ward. Senior age 22.6. So he'll be like 23 when everything's rocking and rolling for us in the draft. So not too long. Did start out at FCS Incarnate Word. Pretty good program. Weird year at Washington State. Kind of fell apart at the second half of the year. And that was the big thing that the GMs talked about Cam Ward. His inability to finish seasons. He'd have great seasons, get off to blistering starts, and then really not finish the season. And he kind of did with Miami. It really wasn't his fault Miami lost that game to Syracuse. I mean, their defense was just so bad. So I'm not going to hold that against Cam Ward for him. So next up, Cleveland. This is where we're going to get a little spicy here. It really depends what Cleveland does in free agency. If Cleveland doesn't get any cap relief from the Deshaun Watson injury, they don't sign a quarterback. I think you have to draft a quarterback. But then again, the only person left would be Shadur Sanders, and he's going to throw a bitch fit and not go to Cleveland. So I think Cleveland's just going to do what Cleveland does and either A, take Travis Hunter and put him at corner. They also need a wide receiver. I think they're going to sign Kirk Cousins as kind of like a real potential free agent pickup for them. Like, you go Kirk Cousins, and then you could go with a talented player. Maybe you go with McMillan if you want to get a wide receiver, because they really kind of need wide receivers. Their wide receivers suck. Potentially need a running back. I'm not taking Genty here. Abdul Carter's really interesting. I think you could probably slide back with, if the Giants are banging on the table, or if the Raiders are banging on the table and they want to move up and go get a quarterback. I think that's a real legit move that they could do. Like, we could go trade this with the Raiders. The Raiders come up and get a quarterback. Now, I don't know if Pete Carroll's going to do that. Pete Carroll's not that kind of guy. He just kind of plays it a little soft. So I think they go with the best available player, and that's Abdul Carter, even though they don't really need defensive linemen. I still think you go Abdul Carter here, and you just kind of take the best player on the board. Fuck it. You take Abdul Carter, and if he's good, you can trade Myles Garrett for another first-round pick. I know they said they're not trading Myles Garrett. Well, you can pair it with Myles Garrett then. See, in my opinion, the Titans should trade back in the draft. They have a lot of needs in many positions. Yeah, Kingfish, but quarterback just kind of rules the day. We talked about that a little bit, like potentially you slide back and then you overdraft one of those the third quarterback. Is it Kyle McCord? Is it Quinn Ewers? Is it Dylan Gabriel, who threw the hardest pass apparently at the Senior Bowl in history at like 74 miles an hour? Just ripped a hose out there. So, hard to say. They will rework Lamar, Roquan, and or trade cut Marcus Williams because they have to pay Kyle Hamilton. Yep, they got to pay the two. Lamar, I don't know if Lamar's taking a rework. That Lamar contract was like pulling teeth. I don't know if Lamar's taking a rework. He's already underpaid probably based on the new quarterback market. I don't know if Lamar's committed to that whole team I'm taking pay cuts aspect. My guy wants to get paid. Trade back for what we need, Shadur time. We don't need Shadur time. Everybody hit the like for anti-Shadur time. Let's check out the poll. Yes, 75% watching the Super Bowl. They reworked it last year. Yeah, but what did they rework it to? Let's look at Lamar Jackson's contract. My guy's not taking another pay cut. Let's see. So his base actually kicks in next year. He's making $20 million next year. He's due $14 million at signing. Can they really cut that? And he's making $51 and $26. So they're not going to rework it next year. They would rework it the year after. They would work it after the 25 because he's not going to take a dink on that. He's a $43 million cap hit. Which is a good number. 43.65 is a good number. He's not going to take a rework of that. It's next year he's going to have to take the rework when he's a 75.6. The problem is you can't keep pushing that money off. He's already got 2 void years on his contract. But they're not bad void years. They can get out after 2026 for only 35 dead cap. That's not too bad. That might be the move if Lamar's not winning there. He's 30. You can get out of him for that. They'd have to move the cash around is the problem. How much cash do they have? Obviously, I don't know. How rich are the Ravens' ownership? They'd have to move his the cash around. That's interesting. That's an interesting contract. I'm glad I looked that up. Thanks for the notification. Mellows, thanks for the sub. And if you guys subbed and I haven't shouted you out already, I can only see public subs, so if you subbed and I haven't shouted you out yet, just drop it in the chat and I will gladly shout you out. JJ McCarthy or Sam Darnold? We are on the JJ McCarthy train. Trade Sam Darnold. Backloaded it. Yeah, they backloaded it. Mellows, I got you. I was reading the contract over. When I do my draft, I don't start with the first round. I look at the second, third, fourth round picks. That's so much harder to predict is the problem. It should be JJ time. Darnold needs to go to the Raiders. Could be the Raiders. Could be the Colts. Could be the Titans. Ario, could be your Titans. Bum Titans fan. Pissed off with the Cam Ward pick. I can always... Mark Andrews' contract is $16 to $18 million this year. That's not too bad, I don't think, for tight ends. I don't know where that ranks on tight ends contracts. I mean, it's looking like they're going to take a quarterback, and it's going to be Cam Ward. Now, we did talk about this a lot. Abdul Carter, I think, is very much in play. Depends what the guarantees the ownership gives Brian Callahan as the head coach. Depends on what the new GM thinks about their head coach. And what quarterback they could pick up in the offseason. Like, if you get a guy like Justin Fields, maybe you get Sam Darnold. You're more comfortable with either A, trading back for someone who wants that quarterback like the Giants. You slide back to 3. Or you just take Abdul Carter, who's the best player on the board, in my personal opinion. That's kind of what I think Cleveland's going to do if they can't slide back. Nobody moves up for that quarterback. You take the best player available, and that's Abdul Carter. I think Abdul Carter might be a generational pass rush talent. And you know Cleveland and their pass rush talents, they love him. Sam honestly isn't a bad QB. I mean, he was just horrible in his 2 biggest games. I can't have a quarterback that can't win in the big games. I can't have a guy who poops his pants in the spotlight. I need clutch quarterbacks. We need Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, killer instincts in clutch situations. I need dogs, not kitty cats. We need a dog. Not an actual Georgia Bulldog. But we just need dogs out there, so that's why I'm off Sam Darnold. All right, Giants on the board. Giants are going to overdraft a quarterback. They're going to do something stupid. They're going to take Shadur Sanders. He wants to play in New York. He likes Malik Neighbors. This is as easy a pick as you're going to get. They overdraft him, but they're happy. I guess they're going to try and keep their guy together. Need a Jalen or a Tom Brady. Jalen is not that guy. Jalen is carried by an elite roster. Did play good last round, but was pretty bad in the first 2 playoff games. I'm not going to put Jalen in that conversation yet. He just isn't awful in big games. But I don't know if he's great out there. He's got a fantastic team around him. Probably the best roster in football. They might trade Butterfinger Andrews. You can't get rid of Andrews, man. That was just a tough play. Plenty of plays to look back on in that game, especially in the first half. Not all on Andrews. The Giants just can't figure it out. Yeah. Shadur, I think, has the best upside of the quarterbacks. I think he's going to take some time to get there. It's going to take some time to get there. He's really bad in the pocket. Yeah, Jalen is definitely getting carried by Saquon. Need another Mark Sanchez for the Jets. Big Rob, Mark Sanchez, the Sanchez. Yeah, the Jets are in a really bad quarterback situation. They're still flirting with our guy, A-Rod, Aaron Rodgers, his goofy ass. I don't think that's a great idea, but the quarterback class is so bad. The draft class is bad. The free agent class is bad. I was on a Jet stream earlier. I shouldn't say I was on. I was watching it, listening to one of the guys I like to listen to. And he was talking about it, and I commented how bad the class is. He's like, yeah. But they are liking the coaching hires. They ruined my boy Mark. Nah, man, it's the Jets. It is the Jets. He got to 2 AFC championship games. They didn't rule. Mark Sanchez was never super talented. He left college a little too early. They had a great defense, and the defense got old, got expensive. They lost some players. Mark Sanchez equals Mr. Butt Fumble. Sucks, because Mark Sanchez was so much better than the Butt Fumble. Vikings versus Rams face mask penalty was crazy. Yup. I don't know if they would have won that game, but definitely kind of played a big part in them losing the game. That's for sure. All right, if you haven't already, drop a quick like on the stream. Think about hitting that sub button. We got daily sports content and a huge announcement. If you haven't seen the goal at the bottom of the stream there, we've been talking about it. I will be streaming after the Super Bowl, no matter what, but you guys are kind of pulling my arm here. We're going to have a little donation goal if we can get our donation to $400 by next Super Sunday. That includes anything, bits, gems, super chats, memberships to the channel, all goes towards that total. I will stream, and for every $100 or so, I will just stream. So if we get to $100, I'll stream the fourth quarter. If we get to $250, I'll stream the whole second half. And then if we get to that 400, it'll be the whole game. So just a little incentive, guys, for you out there. Don't feel like you have to. I will be live after the game, no worries. But some people were wanting it, and I figured, why not put a goal out there? If you really want to force me to be on for 6 hours with you, all you beautiful people. I've been saying Jalen getting carried by Saquon, and that defense is elite on top of it. Gonna be a tough matchup, K-Dub. I'm sure you're feeling good as a Chiefs guy, but it's gonna be a tough matchup. The play was busted and the lineman got knocked back into him. I hate that being his clip. He brought us to 2 AFC championship games. I know, back-to-back breaks your heart, Rob. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. Jags need a new roster. Yeah, and they got Mr. Duval. Liam Cohen, head coach. Crazy. That was crazy work. I mean, I feel like they might lose every game now watching their head coach interaction. But he had a cool interaction with Trevor Lawrence. Got him a little bit better. Drake. Yes, Patriots with the Pro Bowl quarterback. I love Drake May, but he was not a Pro Bowl quarterback. I mean, this is just the most memeable Pro Bowl ever if you look at the quarterbacks. The starting quarterbacks the quarterbacks for the rosters are Jared Goff, Sam Darnold, Russell Wilson, and Drake May. And then a couple of real quarterbacks in Joe Burrow and Baker Mayfield. But 4 of the 6, just crazy work at the quarterback position. Do I live in Mini? No, I do not live in Mini. Nobody. I live in the beautiful state of Texas. Sean's going for the Eagles, Ravens fan since 1997. Yes, was that the first year or the second year? 97, 96. I've been to M&T Bank. Their scoreboard was like the biggest in football when they first opened. It was crazy. At least the Jags have a quarterback. Do the Jags have a quarterback, Titans fan? I feel like the jury's still out on our guy Trevor Lawrence. I don't know how good he is. Wash one. What's going to hurt the Chiefs is their secondary. Yes, but the Eagles really struggle to pass. So the strength on strength is going to be interesting. Now, can Jalen have a game like he had 2 years ago against Kansas City where he torched them? That's going to be a big question. But if they could stop the run, I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. T-Law is good, but he's not great. He's okay. He's also really expensive now. Patriots taking the edge guy for sure. Patriots need everything, man. The Patriots probably need to trade back. They need weapons. They need guards. They need tackle. They need offensive line badly. I think the Patriots are going to go wide receiver if they can't land one of these big free agent wide receivers, or they're going to trade back potentially. Maybe they go tackle. Will Campbell at 8 is a tackle. Maybe they find the best left tackle. Maybe they go Banks, which I think would be a little bit of a reach. I like that they go McMillan. You just get a weapon for your young quarterback. This is the worst skill position in the NFL. I think you go McMillan there. He's kind of a jump ball merchant, but if you can't really block, get some weapons for your quarterback. If they sign T. Higgins, get an offensive lineman, get like a tackle in free agency and sign T. Higgins and then draft McMillan, now we're cooking with gas, boys. Now maybe they trade for A.J. Brown, all fresh off a Super Bowl. Mike Vrabel very much loves him, as Bum Titans fan knows, unfortunately. How they beat the Eagles last time, they had a corner, he left. Yeah, it was a way different team 2 years ago. I think the weapons are a little bit better than they were 2 years ago. Xavier Worthy is kind of a problem to deal with, at least from a speed aspect. Kansas City is probably going to run 12 plays that have never been seen before this year. They're going to set something up on those Eagles. Pat's taking Banks. I could see that. Feels like a little stretch. But if they want to go left tackle, again, this is all super dependent on free agency, guys. They got in just because Lamar and Josh. So is Mahomes. Let's go 2025-2026 season. We're moving on. Browns are going to take Hunter. I just don't know what you do with Travis Hunter is the problem. Is he a wide receiver? Is he a corner? Are you going to play him both ways? Like maybe New England takes Hunter. I don't think they're not going to let him play in Cleveland. Not going to let Hunter play in Cleveland. They've made that pretty clear. Steelers need Ash Agenci. Yes. They need offensive linemen a lot too. Ravens were 96. Yes. Austin, 5 root beers love. Trevor Lawrence trash. He reminds me of a Baywatch character. Oh, he is good looking. Maybe he's too good looking to play quarterback. There is a ratio of you have to be good looking, but you can't be too good looking to be a good quarterback. If the Titans take Cam Ward and not Abdul Carter, I'm crashing out. Be prepared, Titans fan. Be prepared. 21-23 Eagles. Yeah, it's a good score. I think it might be like 24-27, maybe a little bit more scoring because the Super Bowl kind of gets weird sometimes. Why did the Vikings? They didn't trade Kirk Mellows. They let his bum ass walk. He wanted all that money for all those years. Austin, I'm chilling. We are chilling right now. Wide receiver makes sense, but it's like the Patriots. They always take not skill. New era, though. We got Mike Vrabel. New era. Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel did take A.J. Brown, guys. Nah, the GOAT is live. What's up? Yes, we are live. The hope I had hope for Treylon Burks, too. He was never the same after that dirty hit on that touchdown catch. Vrabel got to prove he can develop players because he sucked. That is no, Vrabel is a great, you can't say that. Vrabel is a great head coach. Vrabel took a bad Titans team, took Ryan Tannehill, and elevated Derrick Henry in that entire roster to an AFC championship game, the first seed in the AFC playoffs. Like, Mike Vrabel's a great head coach. Just look how bad Tennessee was this year. With the, not much changed, I don't think, after 1 year. You need a quarterback. Yeah, PTSD kicking in, sorry. I think it was a wild card game. Yep, it was a wild card game. Brandon Staley blew a 27-0 lead. I think that was more on Brandon Staley being the head coach of the Chargers than maybe Trevor Lawrence. But yeah, it's been disappointing. They also haven't blocked for him. I don't know how healthy he's been. Chiefs probably going to run corn dog again. No, they got something new. You can't run the same thing. They're going to have something new. It's going to be cotton candy this time. No more corn dog, cotton candy. They're totally different play. Knowing how dumb the Browns are, I wouldn't be shocked if they took Hunter. Even after Hunter says I'm not playing in Cleveland. Yeah, I could see that with the Browns. Predict the Steelers and Vikings first round selections for fun. We'll get there. Don't worry, we'll get there. I'm dragging it out a little bit. We're going to get there. I haven't figured it out yet. I got to see what my board kind of looks. We're kind of eyeballing the board right now. We're kind of just going around hanging fun. Now, if Travis Hunter is a wide receiver cornerback, he plays the Dolphins. He has to guard Tyreek Hill and then receivers like Jalen Ramsey. Yeah, I think he's going to be more of a wide receiver if he plays both. It's going to be, maybe some packages on offense. Jalen Ramsey, not that guy anymore. Neither is Tyreek Hill, I don't think. Are you watching the Super Bowl? Yes, Austin, I'm going to watch the Super Bowl. We have incentives for me to watch the Super Bowl on live with you guys. So if you guys want to donate and torture yourselves with me, go right ahead. Why are people hating? Seeing the Eagles and Saquon in the Super Bowl is going to be dope. If the Chiefs three-peat, it'll be the first ever. In the grand scheme of things, this is a legendary Super Bowl. First of all, Tristan, legendary, not likely. Back-to-back, people hate rematch Super Bowls, especially, we played this game 2 years ago. Everyone's kind of sick of the rematches. Everyone's sick of the Chiefs because of the officials and the Taylor Swift shit, so I get it. They're not super likable. They're not like the Patriots that were good bad guys. Everyone's just kind of like, this Chiefs team is like, what? And it feels like they get egregious benefits by the refs. And the Eagles fans are the most insufferable fan base to like everybody who's not an Eagles fan. Saquon's super likable. Like the Eagles team in general isn't like a hateable team. Sirianni everybody hates, and everybody hates Eagles fans. You have Kyle McCord ranked QB3 in the class? Potentially. Yeah, Vrabel was goated. Vrabel elevated King Henry. Ming Henry, Chinese King Henry, lol. Shadur is low-key bad. He's overrated. Yeah, I would say he's a little overrated to the casuals. I think those in the know, I mean, he's got a 40-something on PFF. But he's going to get taken high. Quarterbacks always get high. Always get high. Oh, always get taken high. It is the Lunar New Year. What is it, the year of the snake? Don't be a snake out there, guys. He was a good head coach, but his staff was awful and couldn't develop players. I'd have to go look back. There's some good players on the Titans. Their roster's pretty good. Currently. It's not like the new regime just put all these guys in. Bud Dupree? Dog? Yeah, the Dolphins comparison. It's got to be, everybody's seen it. Everybody's seen the Dolphins comparison. It pains me you're going to go with the Chiefs for your official pick next week. I get it, though. Pure greatness and ultimate respect to their dynasty. Saquon going buck wild. I haven't made an official pick yet, and I'm really kind of 50-50. I have my ending planned, but I haven't figured out how I'm going to actually end it. I always do like a little kind of like wrap-up ending for my pick. And I have the clips I think I'm going to use, and I just haven't decided the fate yet. I feel the score, too. I think I have a score, too. I really don't know. I have to do some more digging on both teams' efficiency against the run on defense. I'm definitely not sold yet. This is definitely the first time I think I would consider picking against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Besides the Buccaneers one, I definitely had Tampa in that one. And that was only because I picked Tampa before the season. That was truly a Tampa Bay before the season pick. I'm riding with it. Lions Prods here. Have you streamed yet, big dog? Let us know how it went. Ravens drafted Wiggins. He wasn't a starter. They rotated him. Ravens lights do a lot of rotation. He did start, though, at the end of the year, didn't he? I thought he was ultimately starting. Wiggins had a solid year. What about some other teams? Well, the Jags are on the clock, and they're going to take Mason Graham, and they're going to be ecstatic. They are ecstatic with Mason Graham. It's going to be a great pick for the Jags. Mason Graham is a dog. Game wrecker in the middle, and they desperately need an interior guy. If the Chiefs win, I'm done with the NFL. There's a 50-50 shot. Chat keeps slipping. Look up all those defensive tackles. They are good. Some of them have to gain weight. Some are going to have to lose weight. But yes, some good defensive Hey, man, I ain't worried about no weight or any size like that. 6'3", 320, perfect size. Like, these guys are... This is not the old days. Not everybody's like a tub of mass like Michael Pierce. These guys are yoked. So I'm not super worried about the weight on these guys. Chiefs were actually rootable for those last 2 years, but during the regular season this year, it's a miracle the Chiefs were number one at all, and it's nuts. Everyone is sick of it anyways. True, they were definitely more likable. I think after last year's Super Bowl, everyone kind of got sick of them. The Taylor Swift factor was kind of obnoxious. I'm going to be concerned if Kelsey retires and proposes. They win the Super Bowl, he retires and proposes on the field, and there's a suspect call. I'm going to be real concerned about the future of this league. Let's see. Oh, the chat keeps skipping on me, guys. You guys are chatting too much, but I don't hate it. Let's see. Where were we? Ravens missed Calais Campbell. Yup. Big, tall defensive tackle. They were trying to get Calais Campbell from the Dolphins, but it was too late. Yeah, and Matabike had a kind of a letdown season for what they signed for. Wish Jacoby Dean didn't get hurt. Yeah, that's a big blow to the Eagles defense. Kind of the same thing we saw with the 49ers in the Super Bowl, losing the second linebacker to go. You have Bond and Dean. You had Greenlaw and Fred Warner last year, and if you don't have both, it just kind of isn't quite as smooth. He was good because of his experience, not only because of his roster. I kind of miss who that was talking about. Probably variable. Kansas City is not going to put nothing new out. They put all their plays out, so they ain't got nothing new they can make up. That's not true. They ran 4 new plays. They ran like the touchdown. They hadn't run Mahomes all year. The touchdown run by Mahomes was a completely brand new play. Kansas City is 1,000% saving stuff. It hasn't. They don't take the regular season seriously. They definitely going to have stuff we have not seen before out there. That's not true. Bounce back game for Kelsey. Yeah, I think the Bills did everything to stop Kelsey. CJ Gardner-Johnson going to be in his grill talking shit the Gator way? Yeah, and he'll probably get tossed because Kelsey doesn't get flagged for talking shit and CJ Gardner does. Yeah, they haven't been doing anything. They don't take the regular season seriously. They broke out a bunch of new plays for the Bills, and they set them up really bad with their new stuff. Who had the breakdown? Somebody had the breakdown on Twitter. Was it Baldy? It might have been Brian Baldwin. Baldy's breakdowns. If the Bears don't take an O-line, who will they take? Good question. I think the Bears are probably going to take an O-line. You need offensive linemen, especially with your head coach. Ben Johnson needs offensive linemen. Yeah, Wiggins was starting. I thought so. I liked Wiggins coming out. Not as much as the other corners, but I liked Wiggins. I thought he was just like kind of solid. Would you rather have Hurts, Quignon, AJ, Goddard, or Mahomes, Pacheco, Worthy, and Kelsey? Well, currently, yeah, I would rather have the Mahomes thing. Mahomes is exponentially better than those guys. Like, Mahomes is better. Mahomes wins. Worthy has potential. Kelsey's out is the problem. Give me McDuffie. Give me McDuffie as the corner. Instead of Kelsey, say McDuffie. So then it's like AJ versus Pacheco versus Goddard. Probably similar. Goddard's probably a little bit tight end. Pacheco was really good when he's healthy. AJ's better than Worthy. McDuffie's a little bit better than Quignon is right now, but Quignon could be. But Hurts isn't close to Mahomes, guys. Is Mason Graham elite at pass rushing, elite at rushing the passer as well? Yeah, let's look at Mason Graham. I think he's pretty good. 86 pass rush grade in a true pass rush set. He's elite everywhere. Elite everywhere. He's Aaron Donald type game wrecker. Obviously not the same build, but he's a game wrecker. Game wrecker. Yeah, go back to, was it the Rose Bowl? Where he just killed Jalen Milroe. Finally got to him. How good are them Aggie? Oh, we'll get to that. It skipped. So many good Malachi Starks. Who's the best safety? James Pierce, Abdul Carter, Kenneth Grant. Yeah. Best safety in the draft is Malachi Starks. If Jalen Royals drops in the second round, would be nice with the Ravens. Pretty far down there, though. Deion Walker, yup. We're just listing all the great defenders. Good defensive draft, definitely. How good are them Aggie edge rushers? Stewart's apparently having a great Senior Bowl. Squirtin really kind of didn't deliver, wasn't elite. Shamar Turner had a rod in his foot leg that was inserted that he had to deal with, so he's not super healthy, but he's getting healthier. Scoring kind of focused on his run game. I don't know, man. They kind of let me down. They don't wreck quarterbacks. Andy Reid is an absolute wizard. How's your view on Caleb Williams and all the hate he gets? Please respond. I just subbed. Bearsy, appreciate the sub. How do I feel about Mr. Nail Polish? I mean, I'm not out on Caleb Williams yet, but don't love what I saw from him. Took way too many sacks, and they were not all on the offensive line. He retreats way too much. He retreats a lot. And you can't do that as a quarterback. We'll see. He's got a real head coach. I do think the Bears coaches were so shit. If this guy Nick Emanuel is on the board in the third round, he'll be nice next to Kyle Hamilton. So we're talking safeties over here. I do not know this man. Let's see. Nick Imaware from South Carolina. Yeah, South Carolina had a good defense this year. Big games against Oklahoma was terrible against A&M. That's not good. A&M sucks. But 86 coverage grade, a little bit more you want in run defense, but 86 coverage grade, really good. Average forced incompletion rate, high missed tackle rate, though. You don't want him missing tackles. Or is that a low? I can't tell. I think that's high. That's usually good, though. 73 tackles, 7 missed tackles. So better. Still feels like a lot from a safety. Blitzed him a little bit. Okay. He lined his ass up at D-line. That's crazy. Big slot guy. Big slop guy and big box guy. Okay. Interesting. We're looking at safeties here. Is Andy the best play caller ever? Potentially. Probably. Yeah, Vrabel took the Titans playoffs 4 times in 6 years. Yeah, over under 9 wins for Mini next year. I'm going to say over. I think 10 is the number next year. Depending on when and where we play schedule, what we do in the offseason, I'm initial is 10. But obviously everything depends on schedule. Xavier Watts in the 3rd round. 31-27 Chiefs. A little high for my blood, but okay. My cousin who's a Genty Glazer said we should trade down and take Genty. I'm not taking. It's too good of a running back class. I may not even take Genty that high because how good the running back class is. That's the problem. Saquon for Saquon. I had Quinion in my head. There you go. Yeah, definitely take Saquon probably. Yeah, probably. But God, Jalen Hurts is just not good enough for... Patrick Mahomes is just so much better than those guys. Should have known that. That makes a lot more sense now. I'm like defensive players over here. That's on me. Who do you think's going to win the Super Bowl? No spoilers yet, Lions Prods. We're going to be doing a lot more Super Bowl stuff next week. I will have my official pick out Thursday, I think, next week for the video. Maybe Friday. Depends. But we'll be streaming. Rabel couldn't fire his weak staff. He called friends Todd Downing, Chip Kelly, LOL. Hey, Chip Kelly, kind of a hot commodity right now. I've been around a lot of Kansas City fans. Worth, like I said, I'm a Ravens fan. We get the most smoke from the Kansas City Chiefs fans. Surprised you don't get more smoke from the Bengals fans or the Steelers fans. But yeah, Lamar's kind of gets cooked in the playoffs against those guys. What are you mock drafting on? PFF, Bearsy. PFF, Pro Football Focus. You got to pay for it. Who's the second best safety in the class? Nobody. Malachi Starks, and then Crabshoot, Watts, Castro, Winston, Ransom, Makuba. He was okay at Texas. Billy Bowman's interesting. Not a very good safety draft, besides the one. It's not like I'm rocking around with a Broncos hat jersey or an Oakland Raiders hat or jersey or an LA. They get no smoke. Bad teams don't get a lot of smoke from people. It's good teams when you play them in the playoffs and when you interact with those fan bases. I mean, like, Broncos fans are going to start getting it now. And the Chargers might, because I think the Chargers, they said Gabriel looked awful. Buy it. I knew he threw the hardest pass. That's about it. But I totally buy that opinion. Second best safety is Malachi Moore, in my opinion, as a Vols fan. Wiggins was a rotational piece. Stevens and Humphreys were the starters. Am I going to have to look up Nate Wiggins snaps on PFF over here? Cornerbacks, draft year 2024. Nate Wiggins. How many snaps? What was his main breakdown? Passing snaps, running backs. He was out wide at corner. 689 snaps. That's a starter in my book. What did Brandon Stevens have? No, go back. I'm dumb. Cornerbacks, Ravens. Yeah, he played more snaps. Yeah, pretty close. Can I look at when they were played? Can I get a weekly breakdown? I'm going to need a weekly breakdown of the snaps. Okay. Skipping. Kyle Kennard is a sleeper edge rusher. Yeah, I don't even know if it's sleeper. Steelers need a quarterback or a running back. Yep. Him and Landon Jackson. Where do you think Benjamin Morrison will go in the draft since he did declare for the draft? I think it'll be late first round. Morrison would be on a top 10 pick. No, Eagles going to tie this up 1-1. Look at Malachi Moore. They need to keep them inside, play the tackles. So you said Hurts is in your top 6. Is he in your top 10? I'd have to think about it. I don't have that off the top of my head. What was the first? Cooking the mock. First 3 picks. Cam Ward, Abdul Carter, Shadur Sanders. Cam Ward. I can, let me, actually scroll this down a bit. There we go. Get more on the mock there. Elite is a Steelers fan. Is Shiloh in this draft? Yes. And he's hard. He's in the North-South game or something. I don't think he's at the Senior Bowl. I think he's at something else. Maybe he's at the Senior Bowl. I thought he was at something else. And he's been getting destroyed. He is the worst Division I football player I think I've ever seen. He's so bad. So bad. Xavier Watts is actually pretty good, and I'm a Notre Dame fan, so I don't know. They got cooked a little bit in the Natty. Stutzman is a decent LB. Bad linebacker class. Everybody wants Jalen. Everyone wants Justin Fields. I'm anti-Justin Fields on this channel. Jalen Milroe, God forbid. Ibuka, 21. Yeah, no way. I don't think Ibuka's going to be at 21. Maybe. I shouldn't say never. If you pick Milroe, you're cooked. If you pick Milroe early. Darty. Did you know Jackson Dart has a brother named Diesel Dart, which is kind of awesome? Yeah, Jalen Carter versus the interior of the Chiefs line is the real matchup. Yeah, Jalen Carter, the defensive lines are the ones to match for. Is PFF on the iPhone? No, I don't think so. You can go to their website on the phone, but they don't have an app. But you got to pay for the mock drafts. If you want to do all the stuff I'm doing, you got to pay for PFF. Which, worth. Not going to shell for them, but worth. If you like to be a sports nerd. Where was there a Senior Bowl today? They just had practice. It was practice all week. I think the Senior Bowl Saturday. Garrett and Carter would be nuts. Yes. Deshaun's so fried, though. Yeah, I think they're going to sign Kirk Cousins. I'm so scared for next year. Yeah. I would be a little worried as a Lions fan. Ragav, I've totally butchered that with the sub. Appreciate that. And if you subbed and I haven't shouted you out already, just drop it in the chat. I can only see public subs, guys. So do greatly appreciate everybody who's subbed, who's liked the stream so far. He is at the Senior Bowl. He's getting cooked. Cooked. Do you think the Vikings will? No, we have a quarterback. It's JJ McCarthy. We're not taking a quarterback. Also, no one take Carter from us. I mean, you're going to have the first pick, so if they take, it's going to be the Titans' call, at least. What the Ravens got and what they pick up from free agency, they will be a good team, though. People who are listed, add them with the Ravens. Yeah, the Ravens are going to be good. Assuming they got to figure out the playoff. Like, they've been bad at the playoffs the last 2 years. Can't say they haven't. They were really bad in the AFC Championship game last year, and I don't think they were very good against the Bills this year. They probably should have beat the Bills. Jack Sawyer plus Aiden Hutchinson are scary. Jack Sawyer's kind of a weird pass rusher. I don't know, man. Not a huge game record. The Lions have the second hardest, and the poor Giants have the hardest. Yeah, the Lions' schedule is death. The 49ers have the easiest. Ravens have 11 picks. That's a lot. Of picks. NFC North record predictions. I could not begin to start on that, Bearsy. Couldn't begin. But I will have all that the closer we get to the season. Free agency is going to be a big part. Free agency or the draft are the two biggest pieces on a team moving in. Like, You cannot understate or overstate how much adding the right guys, losing important guys have on a team. Are they going to trade Marcus Williams, the safety, for a draft pick? Ooh. No idea. It's a good question. Take Dylan Sampson or Scadaboo, second or third round. Sampson, definitely. I think Sampson's a dog. James Pierce to the Raiders. James Pierce to the Raiders. Did Ryan Williams? He is not eligible for the draft. The two best receivers in the country are not eligible. Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith not eligible for the draft. Lions 10-7, Pack 11-6, Vikings 9-8, Bears 8-9. God, another crap load division. I don't think the Pack are that good. Sampson, the best running back in the nation. False. Not, but he's very good. Ashton Genty's the best running back in the nation. Genty got nothing. He definitely has something. Oh, they are going to trade Marcus Williams for a draft pick. I don't know how I feel about trading. I don't know how valuable, I don't know what you're going to get for him. I don't know what quality pick you're going to get for a guy like that. And I'm not huge on trading for trading players for draft picks, known commodities after the first round, maybe the second round. But I don't love third, fourth, unless you know a guy isn't good and you're kind of over it. Cowboys selecting Ashton Genty. I have no idea what the Cowboys are doing, meme. No idea. Samson, that's a bad take. Brandon, call shots fired. Fields, Kyler, Bo Nix, AR, Penix, Ward, Lagway, over. Insane take right there. AR, no shot. Not a chance. Bo Nix, no shot. Long term, no way. Watched way too much Bo Nix tape. Fields can't win. Kyler maybe, but he's a head ass and expensive. Nope, not Penix either. Too old, bad knees. That's crazy. Joe Milton, no. Joe Milton is not that good, guys. He's slightly better than what AR's production was, but it's exactly what they thought AR would be, but not as good. He played one game against backups. Definitely not Cam Ward. In no universe, Shadur or Lagway currently. Shadur, incredibly bad take right here with these quarterbacks. But then again, you love Justin Fields. So, quarterback's not your strong suit. Ravens want Mabuka. He's a safety. He kind of reminds me a little of Deshaun Elliott and Cam Chancellor, I'm assuming. Yeah, second round though. He's got like a third round grade. The safeties have awful grades. Yeah, but don't they have an easy schedule, at least better than the Lions and Vikings? Only slightly. They play the third place schedule, so they get the Panthers, which isn't, the Panthers might be on the come up next year compared to the Falcons. And then they get the Cardinals, which is definitely the easier of the two NFC West games. And then the AFC game is the Broncos. They get the Broncos in Denver, which not a super easy game. I just don't think Genty is amazing. He's pretty good. I don't think he's Saquon good, but he's pretty good. 7th rounder. Yeah, I'm not a huge I don't like picking up garbage round picks. He's good, don't get me wrong. If the Steelers don't re-sign Russ or JF1, who will they get? Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones. Oakland needs to go get Russell Wilson. I don't know if Russell and Pete are going to work together. Russ can't go to Vegas. He's too wholesome. Will Johnson here, probably the best value pick for the Raiders. Oh, yeah, we are with the Raiders. No, the Raiders are going to take Travis Hunter. The Ravens, if Travis Hunter's on the board, that's a Raiders pick. They're going to take Travis Hunter. They need a wide receiver. They need a corner. There's no quarterback there. I'm not taking Genty. They're probably going to sign a running back in free agency. Yep, Joe Milton. He knows the Joe Milton experience. Raiders need to get Wilson or Fields. Will Johnson or James Pierce. Anything else here is a miss. Think they're going to take Hunter. That's a Raiders pick right there. Even with Tom Brady kind of loves Travis Hunter from what I've heard. Love Xavier Laverne. Second round pick mid though, I believe. Scrolling too fast. God, I hate when the chat jumps, y'all. I get lost. Draft an offensive lineman. I don't know how y'all can't understand him. Saquon or Bijan? Definitely Saquon. I bet the Panthers will make the playoffs, but get first rounded. Potentially. Potentially. Yeah, bring up some of those QBs because everyone knows the greatness of the top three. Got no reason to lie on everything I love. I've seen the huge potential of Mahomes and J17 from day one. JA17. That's JF17, I'm assuming. Fields. Guys. Fields! I'm crying. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills on Justin Fields. Saquonathan. Everybody needs a great defense against Patrick Mahomes. True. Probably need a good offense, too. LJ from my hood, always fucked with him. He was a couple years older than me. Nice. Oh, yeah. I didn't realize he was on the board. Yeah. The only other pick I could see him at was 4 with the Patriots for Hunter. I think Hunter slides a little bit. People aren't going to necessarily know what he's going to do in the NFL. Pete was the one that traded Russ in the first place. Was it Pete? Was it John Schneider? Was it? I don't know. LJ over Burrow? Crazy. I don't know. You can argue it. I prefer Burrow. Does have the injury issues. Him carrying those Bengals to the Super Bowl, kind of crazy. His team is just so poorly run and just so bad. Find a corner so they can have somebody to shut down Worthy. Yeah, you're going to need a fast corner. Worthy's getting a lot better really fast. And don't forget Rashee Rice coming back. Rashee Rice was pretty good last year in the playoffs, and he looked like he was going. Hunter falls to 6. That's wild. Yeah, tweet. He's just a tweener. Just a tweener. Xavier Legette, yep. Okay, there you go. I was going to say, I read names sometimes, and I'm like, you guys know more draft stuff. You guys have done a full deep dive on the draft more than I have currently. Xavier Legette, yeah, he's okay. Yeah, Hunter corner or wide receiver is going to be the big thing. I think the Jets will take Milroe even if he played like hot trash. I don't know about that. Josh Allen, 17. God, I am just struggling. I was going to say, I was like, you're not from Miami. That makes a lot more sense. Or no. You were talking about Lamar. Are you from Miami? You were talking to the greatest of Josh Allen. Yeah, I was not sold on Josh Allen. I thought Josh Allen was going to be a bust watching him coming out. I will totally own up to that. I liked where they drafted him. I liked where the Bills drafted Josh Allen. Because I thought, like, that's a good spot to take a risk on a super talented. Like, I saw his physicals. I was worried about his accuracy. And he got way more accurate than he was in college, which you almost never see. But yeah, I thought Josh Allen had the talent, but I was worried about his accuracy. Like a certain Anthony Richardson, who was not getting better at completions. In fact, he's getting worse. Jets are dumb, so they'll probably take Milroe. New regime in the Big Apple. I think Aaron Glenn's going to be a solid head coach. I think they got something better going, I think. Milroe, good tight end or running back. Hot take here. Eagles 45-27 over the Chiefs. That is a hot take. The Eagles scored 45 points against Spags in that D. Woo! Crazy. Vikings going to get Rodgers just to complete the Brett Favre tour for real for Rodgers. Yeah, maybe he takes us to the Super Bowl this time. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Brock Bowers or Jaden Daniels. It's got to be Daniels. Brock Bowers wins it like every other year, but it's got to be Daniels. Jets need O-line bad. Yeah, but I don't know if I would take O-line here. I kind of like taking a corner. Like taking a D lineman here too. Probably sick Mason Graham is in here. Let's look at our defensive lineman. Not interior offensive lineman, interior defensive lineman. So you can go Kenneth Grant, the other Michigan guy, has a little bit lower grade at 19. Could go DB. They're going to lose Reed in free agency. I'm okay with going Will Johnson here. You're probably going to lose Sauce too. I'm okay with going corner. You have a good head coach teaching DBs. I'm okay with Will. Shit. I wish I could overdo that. Can I undo that pick? I'm going to undo that. I want to undo that pick. Damn it. You know what? I'm going to restart. BRB. We're restarting the draft. I like Malachi. I like Starks better there for the Jets. I didn't think that went through enough. Okay. Start draft. Quarterback. Cam Ward. Abdul Carter. Shadont. McMillan. Graham. Travis Hunter. I like Malachi Starks to the Jets. I like that better. They need safety help. You got to be perfect to beat the Chiefs. Kind of. You got to play better. You got to have better coaching. You got to be great coaching. You can't have average to mediocre coaching. And we've seen Sean McDermott's not a very good head coach. Harbaugh's kind of had bad coaching performances against them. Need to have great coaching. Sirianni, God bless him. Bengals need to replace T. Higgins. Probably, not 100%. Will Campbell here. I don't think they're going to go right tackle. Right tackle here for the Jets. I don't think so. They like their young tackle. They have their, Oliomu Fushanu is their right tackle. They don't need a right tackle. If the Jets do not bring back DJ Reed, they're going to drive a DB. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to bring back. I don't think Reed's coming back. How is O-line not a top 3 priority need for the Jets? Because the O-line, isn't that good in this year's draft. And their O-line was okay this year. O-line wasn't terrible this year. They had some injuries, but the O-line was not as bad as it was the last few years. Yep, there you go. Pompeo Beach, Florida, 5 minutes north of Miami. There you go. That makes sense. That's on it. I knew Lamar was a Miami guy. There we go. The more we know. Who do you think the Jets will take when they need a quarterback? A-Rod, there's no quarter. I'm not taking a quarterback here. Somebody just radiator. Rad. Appreciate the sub. Big time. If you guys haven't already, hit that like button. Get this out into the algorithm. It helps us out a ton. Burrow, Mahomes, Lamar, and Allen in that order. That's crazy work. You always got to put Mahomes 1. Always got to put Mahomes 1. Panthers going to get a receiver. Panthers need defense. I'm taking Will Johnson here. I'm 100% taking Will Johnson if he's on the board if I'm the Panthers. They need defense. Their defense was so bad last year. And you could sign a receiver. LSU's your third favorite team. There you go. Behind Auburn and good old Rocky Top. You can't be rooting for 3 SEC teams. SEC teams hate each other. Who's QB1 in fantasy next year? Allen or Lamar. Preference. I'll be taking Fields if he's even a starter next year. People were taking Fields late this year, and we saw how well that lasted. It lasted about 2 weeks was the problem. Killed us in fantasy. I don't hate the Jets D-line and their O-line. Their O-line is so bad. I don't think it's as bad as people think. It definitely was better this year, especially towards the end. It's not a good run-blocking O-line, and that's the problem with having a Breece Hall who's a very good running back. D-line's fine. Their secondary was bad, especially after Saleh left. And Reed's gone. I would think Reed's gone. And they need a quarterback. Also, another thing is the Titans just need to build a D-line, and we will be a force to be reckoned with. Their defense was okay this year. Would like some offensive line work. If we replace Levis, yeah, I don't know about that. They get a number 1 corner, yeah. Saints going to take a tight end. What do you mean? We got Taysom Hill. Everybody tells me Taysom Hill is the guy. The Saints probably need a quarterback too. Derek Carr kind of sucks. Receivers, you have Chris Olave. You don't really have anybody else. This is tough. They have wide receivers, the number 1 take. I don't love Luther Burden here, but he does kind of feel, is MVS a free agent? God. Dude, what the hell is going on with Google? Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Let's look at his contract. Free agent. Free agent, 30 years old. Taking Luther Burden. They're going to take a burner. Take a burner. I like Luther Burden here. We need to get Dart or Howard. I don't know how much I feel about Howard. Dart's getting a little bit of buzz. Panthers take a wide receiver. You need to address defense first. Xavier Leggett's fine. Adam Thielen clearly still has something in the tank. Good run game. They need defense, really. They lost a lot of games because of that defense, especially in the back half when the offense was good. Starks ain't bad, but I had Starks to the Dolphins. Yeah, could be a need there. I just don't know if he's going to fall. Like, there is only 1 safety in this draft. Oh, Chiefs at 32 really is a script. Yes, we talked about that earlier. It's record. They have the best record. Don't give us everybody back. PFF wild for not having Jets needing an O-line. Trade down. No trades in this draft yet. Good. No, it skipped. Draft is deep in the defensive line, not as strong on the offense. You can get defense and running back. Running back and defense in this draft. I don't think it's great. There's no great offensive lineman I'm willing to take early is the problem. I don't think the draft is awful. I think it's okay. I don't know how good of a draft it is for tight ends. I mean, I like the first 2 tight ends, but after that, my man from, top 4 is okay. I don't know anything about Arroyo. Better finish to the season. Gunnar Helm's okay. Fannin was solid. Loveland's good. Warren's great. Bears. Yeah, Bears definitely going to go offensive lineman here. And I think they go with Simmons, who projects at a guard. I think they go with Simmons. He's listed at tackle. He's a guard. True. Appreciate the sub. Saints for sure taking Kelvin Banks. I don't know about that, guys. I don't know about that. I don't think the offensive linemen are as good as you guys think they are. I really don't think the offensive linemen are that good at the tackle positions. I don't think Will Campbell's that good. He's a right tackle. We saw Penei Sewell, who's a much better right tackle prospect, fall in the draft. Kelvin Banks, probably going to fall too. Left tackle. JD5, Fantasy QB1. Ooh, that's a great one. That's a great one with the running. Where do I think Kelvin Banks will go? I could see him going right here. I could see Will Campbell going right here. They got to replace Trent Williams. Trent Williams is old. Trent Williams old on the offensive line, banged up. I actually kind of like it. This is a good spot for him at 15. True left tackle right there. Now the Cowboys, I think the Cowboys are going to go rusher. Pearson Green, kind of a push. Let's go Pierce for the SEC. I think the Cowboys go defense again. I don't think they're going to go offense. I think they pass on Genty. I really do. I think the Cowboys pass on Genty. Fields was QB5 through fantasy through the first 6 weeks. 4-2 as a starter. He's not a Bear no more. There's no way Fields was QB5 in fantasy through the first 6 weeks. I would say maybe. Man, I'm going to have to get on Sleeper and look at this shit. Oh my God, I don't have my login. I'm going to have to get back to you on that. He lost to the Colts. Again, Isaiah Likely was tight end 1. Isaiah Likely was tight end 1 through 2 weeks. Bears getting an edge. Bears need offensive linemen. They're taking offensive linemen. The Bears need offensive line. They're taking offensive linemen. They have an offensive head coach who loves offensive linemen. They're taking offensive linemen. Where do you think Genty ends up? I think the running back slide a little bit. I don't know yet. Forgot the Saints existed. True. 49ers getting a D tackle. Again, you're getting a little reachy on these D tackles here. You got to replace your... Trent Williams is old and expensive and was hurt this year. Got to get some offensive linemen. They could go guard. They could go with, whatchamacallit, our boy Membu. I think they're going to go tackle. Dolphins. Let's just take Will Campbell with the Dolphins. Offensive line. I don't know what the Dolphins are going to do. I have to do more look on the Dolphins. Colts, they're taking a tight end. They're taking a running back, I mean. No, I'm just kidding. They're taking a tight end. They're taking Tyler Warren. I like Tyler Warren to the thing. Fields passing is a problem. Way too up and down. Gets hurt, way too reliant on his running. Yeah, people were high on Fields. We would see more now. Fields has been in the league a while, guys. The Steelers would have played him the entire year if he was given him He's not great at he's very limited passing the football. Certain reads. Blew the bird in top 10? Yes, unfortunately. Saints go straight burner. The Bears have 2 running backs, though. They have Swift. They like Roschon Johnson. That's just that's just if they take Genty, that's just negligence. They need offensive line in Chicago. Chat keeps skipping, guys. Deion Walker, he's going to be there in the second. He's going to be there in the third round. I don't think people, when classes are deep, they're not going to make a run on them. People stay put. You get, think about the wide receivers. We watched wide receivers 2 years ago, not get taken because there was a lot of good wide receivers, but no great ones. When there's depth, you don't take high. Ashton Genty and the running backs, depth. Probably not going to take high. They're going to let him slide. 2 years ago, there was Bijan and Gibbs, and that was it. And so both teams ran up to get them. Burden over Pierce there is wild. I just think they're going to go offense, the Saints. I don't even know who the Saints head coach is yet, guys. That's also a problem. If Kellen Moore's their head coach, they're definitely going to take an offensive player. They're definitely going to take a receiver. How do you feel about the Vikings? So, again, I know a Cowboys fan is not talking. Like, that's crazy work. Crazy work from a Cowboys fan. Of all people. Clown. No, Bears need offensive line. Bears have Swift. Bears have Roschon Johnson. Or did they trade Roschon Johnson? They traded one of those three. Hard to keep track of the Bears shitty. Yeah, but they're not going to. They need offensive line. They're not going Genty. Genty is sliding, guys. Unless somebody trades up to go get Genty, I think they're sliding. Panthers D was horrible. Only 2 players on their defense were good, in my opinion. I don't even know if it was 2. Here's how NFL expansion's going to go. They're going to go to Little Rock. Niners just need to find an O-line early, especially paying Purdy. Yeah, that's kind of my leaning. True. Yeah, I would sign a receiver before I would draft one. Like, if you're worried about like Thielen winding down a little bit. Decent wide receiver free agency class. You think a Dunze reaches Jefferson level? In no universe does a Dunze reach Jefferson's level. None. Jeremiah Smith? Yeah. Don't sleep on Mason Taylor, tight end out of LSU. I wonder if he gets bullied because his aunt banged everybody. Tough scenes. Caleb Johnson from Iowa will be a steal for whoever gets him. Yeah, he's getting a lot more buzz. He's got some good tape, good zone running back, good zone running scheme. It's good to have more than one tight end. True. But I think we're moving a little bit away from tight ends, guys. I think we're moving a little bit away from those double tight end sets. Really only the Ravens pop to mind. Running those double tights. The Vikings too, but not even like their pass catching. It just depends. There's 3 to 4 good linemen in the draft. There's no good early anyways. Yeah, there's no good. I don't feel great about any of the tackles. I like the guards. I like the guards a lot. Daniel, what's up? Simmons over Campbell is crazy. Is it? Simmons plays guard. That's why. He's not a tackle. Guard. They need to put a G. Josh Emmons, All-American guard. He's going to play guard in the NFL. Yeah, JD5 won't go as high as Lamar or Hurts. You can get him later in the draft. Probably be top 3 in fantasy. I'm hard-pressed to see it be top 3 in fantasy. He just has too much viability. Say what Baltimore is doing, Kansas City is doing. It's good to have 2 tight ends. One go down, you have a backup. Yeah, I just don't like wasting first-round picks on that. It's good to have like a second or third-round pick guy. Like, Likely wasn't a high pick. Mark Andrews wasn't even really a high pick. He was a first-rounder, but he wasn't that high of a pick, I don't think. Was he like the mid-teens, Mark Andrews? Casey's doing it because Travis Kelce physically can't play that much. San Francisco should be, top 5 trash, good, disappointing team. No, they're going to be good next year. Their schedule's so soft. Cap? Bro, what? Cowboys fans. Haven't played in a conference championship since 1996. All they do is choke. They have an owner with dementia. They have a $60 million quarterback who's probably worth 40. And they just got hired a head coach who's never been considered a head coach. Pierce to the Cowboys. No! Eagles fan Brandon not happy. Yeah, they need defensive help. Especially with the Micah situation. I don't know if they're going to be able to keep Micah. Don't send him to the gulag. The Cowboys. Barkley's were the savior the Eagles needed. Yeah, definitely fixed the offense, getting Barkley. And, you know, the defense. Defense was so much better this year. Their defense, secondary can't explain how much better. They were the worst unit in football last year. Maybe bottom 3. Maybe they were slightly better than the worst, but they were bottom 3 at least. 6 weeks, not 2. Then we benched him for Russ with a milked calf. Yeah, there was a reason they benched him, though. They benched him because the film was bad on Fields. Finn's Tank Campbell here. Yep, that's what we went with. Trent is still top 5 at this age. Yeah, but he's coming off of an injury, too. Tried to get back this year. I'm just worried, you know, he's also really expensive. Really expensive. And they just did the contract shit with him. He could be a cut casualty, I think. Tyler Warren to the Colts. Yup. That feels kind of like the Colts have never had a good tight end in the last 15 years, it feels like. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. It's hard. 40 coming off an injury. For I think he's like 38. What's Trent Williams? 38, 39. Edge to the Falcons. The Falcons should take an edge, but it's the Falcons. We're going to take Mike Green here, though. I like Mike Green's tape is awesome from the Senior Bowl so far. The edge rusher that the Falcons should have taken last year, but the Falcons pass rush like had a crazy stretch where they were cooking. He has to retire at some point. Mike Green to Atlanta. Yup. You guys are on top of it. Mike Green is not falling to Philly. Yeah, he played at Marshall, smaller, so he's probably going to have better stats. But he looks great at the Senior Bowl. Dolphins O-lineman, Bears O-lineman, Colts tight end, yeah. Williams was running for his life. Williams also did a little bit of tiss out. Night, Titans fan. Good checking you. Good seeing you. See you next time. 49ers need to replace Trent. Yeah, overpaid both wide receivers. Yeah, that's the linebacker. Linebacker. Bad linebacker draft. Bad linebacker draft is the problem. Campbell's probably your first linebacker. Who's our first linebacker? Knight, 30. We have one linebacker with a first-round grade, and that's not going to change. Our boy Genty still sitting on the board. This is an interesting spot for the Cardinals. Man, Mike Green went from a day 2 prospect to near top 10 prospect in less than 2 months. I wish people kept sleeping on him. That way he falls. No shot. The Niners lead in cap. Not in cap, available cap. Maybe in... No, they do not lead in cap. They don't lead in cap. The Patriots have the most cap. The Niners have, like, no cap space. No one reaches... Jamar Chase is up there. I agree. 18's the best. We love 18. Free agents, some young guys going to hit the free agency around 26, 27, like Nate Herbig, NFL ready play for the Pittsburgh Steelers free agent. Yeah, this is like a really, like, do not put any stock into this mock draft. Really, guys. This is all like free agency is when we could really lock in. Niners live on double tight end sets. Who's the other tight end in Frisco? They run the single tight. They run a fullback. They use a fullback. They don't run double tight. They run a fullback. Juszczyk's a fullback. Ravens, 49ers, Chargers, Vikings, Chiefs run double tight ends. That I know. Who's the second tight end in Frisco that they never throw the football to? What? Do they use Juszczyk up as a tight end? Ooh, Chris, big on him. Amanda Warrior, the safety. Over Starks? I don't know. Malachi Starks is kind of different. He's kind of different. Morrison to Atlanta. I think Morrison's going to slip a little bit more. Morrison's going to miss a lot of time is the problem. Jets is by far the most talented receiver I've seen since Moss, and not like one day he falls off. I mean, for years. Yeah. I think Jefferson's going to have a much better fall to end of his career than a guy like Odell Beckham does. Jefferson does not rely on his athleticism. Jefferson's just an elite route runner, elite ball skill. Mark Andrews was a third rounder. Who was the first round tight? Oh, was it whatchamacallit? Hurst? Who they took in the first round? I thought they took a first round before Lamar in that draft. I thought they took a tight end in the first round in that draft. I'm praying on the Cowboys making a dumb decision like drafted Genty. Yeah, that would be a dumb decision. Sour, what's up? Cowboys going to lose 2 of those edges. Yeah. Genty to Arizona. This is where we were getting at. This is what I was leading into. You beat me to it. Bengals receiving. Steelers bench Fields due to the 4th round draft. Mike Reed, number 2 edge in the draft. Yeah. Would you rather have Maserati Marv or JSN? I would still take Marvin Harrison Jr. for potential. He was better than JSN at Ohio State. But remember, JSN had a really shitty rookie year too, so that's why I would lean onto it. D tackle for the Cardinals, that's another good one. I think Arizona should go defense. Morrison or Michael. Niners 6th or 7th in cap. Look it up. Crazy. Who do you think the 3rd best wide receiver is behind the Bayou Boys? Good question. 3rd best? Probably CD. I would probably go CD. CD's great. Herberg's not Nick isn't a free agent. His brother is. Morrison to Cincy, no. Jason Marshall to the Vikings in the 6th round. God, I can't even. Yeah, 6th round. Lol, that's probably like a punter or something. Michael Williams here, even though he's raw. Yeah, Michael Williams a good pass rusher. Jonathan Gannon kind of likes those kind of pass rushers. You think Tyreek is going to the Chiefs? Tyreek going to Washington. I hope Washington gets T. Higgins. Hayden Hurst, there you go. Thank you. That's who I was looking for. I knew they took a tight end before Lamar. So it worked out. Might as well bet Mark Andrews. Seattle going to get an edge. Seattle needs a lot. $18 million to guard Jefferson 1v1. You rich? Nope. Cardinals have James Conner. Yes, but James Conner is getting a little old, getting a little banged up, but they did just take, the running back that started seeing playing time, the rookie this year. I'm drawing a blank on his name. I should know it. Trey Benson. So that's why I kind of thought Ashton Genty was a little interesting there, but I think they like Trey Benson still. He was dealing with injuries. Bengals picking up Genty, yeah, but they like Chase Brown, but he is coming off an injury. Tyreek or Worthy, especially now. No, bro, he's the Gators corner, was projected a first-round pick that had an injury-riddled senior year. I don't need any more injured corners. No more injured corners beside Benjamin Morrison, who's an elite talent. If he was that good, he wouldn't have fallen that far. Benjamin Morrison only fell like 10 spots. Higgins to Washington would be nice, yes. Be honest, Buccaneers really need to get a receiver. Yeah, because whatchamacallit's gone. Chris Godwin's hitting the free agency market. That's a guy that I think the Patriots could also sign. Trey Benson, thank you. Ibuka to the Bengals, potentially to fill that spot. Michael Williams to Arizona. Who's your favorite Viking quarter? Yes, Antoine Winfield. Great call. Antoine Winfield. I love Antoine Winfield. I was so sad we didn't take Antoine Winfield Jr. I wanted him. All right, the chat likes Michael Williams here. Let's go. Big raw talent. Let's look at Michael Williams. 6'5", 265. Doesn't grade out great. Had a couple of great games this year. Good against Texas. That's what you want to see. The second Texas game, I should say. Not a lot of production from some of these guys. Like Mike Green's the only one. Like 17 sacks is like the crazy point for Mike Green. Like production wise, that's why. Not a lot of production from these guys we're seeing. Now the Bengals on the clock. They can go wide receiver here. They could go running back. Do you think Harrison Smith hangs him up? Yes, unfortunately, I think he retires. Yes, they need an edge, and they need a linebacker, but if the player gets taken off the board, receiver for the Bucs. I like a little. I want a little more. They need a secondary help too. God, the Buccaneers secondary was so bad this year. Great run defense, awful secondary. Chase Brown did good enough to fend off Genty. They go Morrison. I don't know if they go Morrison. Morrison's not gonna. I don't know when Morrison's gonna play is the problem. They could go Grant here. Go D-line. They need somebody to stop the run. They were garbage against the run, too. Chase Brown did have the little weird knee injury. No college production, IMO, compared to top prospects. Williams won't be good right away. God, college production was bad. It takes a little bit, but I do like freak athletes. EJ Ernest Jackson played safety on the field with Mike Green. Nice. Have you been keeping up with the Senior Bowl? Yes, Max. I've gotten not all the updates, but yes, I've seen the things like Shadur Sanders complete garbage, Shamar Stewart having a big one, Mike Green having a big one, or boy Conkley, who's like might be the number one left tackle potentially, really not doing great. Bengals secondary is garbage. Bengals defensive line is garbage. I think the Morrison injury, he's going to fall more. Whoever's the most cap space is, so the Patriots. They need a DB help. The star DB tore his ACL. That means he's coming back. You're not going to take an injured DB coming off of another injured DB is the problem. Morrison's hurt, guys. Yes, he has got like all pro. Yes, he's got top 10 potential. I just think they might need a guy that goes now. Yeah, Ravens 30 plus both games. Even Russ put up 40 on them. Higgins is overrated. Tanks, that's crazy. Not overrated. Higgins is awesome. We're going to go D-line. We're going to go Grant here for the Bengals. Offensive line, definitely here for the, no. I think we're going to go Membu here for the, whatchamacallit. We're going to go Membu here for the Seahawks. They're going to go interior line. I'm working my sources in Seattle. They really need an offensive line. They really like an offensive line. Buccaneers. Edge rusher, linebacker, DB. Let's go Benjamin Morrison right here. I'm going to try and speed this up a little bit, guys. It's getting a little late. Higgins over George Pickens, yes. George Pickens a little too unstable for me. Hope we get a Mecca Ibuka at Houston. They don't need another receiver in Houston. Well, then again, Tank Dell is out probably. Back around November. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Scotty P. Appreciate the sub. Again, if you subbed and I haven't shouted you out, just drop it in the chat. I will shout you guys out. Broncos going safety? I don't know. If Genty slips to Denver, that's an obvious pick. That's what I'm kind of leaning. Morrison. My uncle was there and he said Jackson Dart should be a first-round pick and said his IQ scrambles. He has IQ scrambles well and can sling it. Yeah, but he was bad in big spots. I'm hearing Dart's kind of flying up, but was bad in big spots. Like he doesn't have that clutch factor. It feels like if he can get rattled is the problem. Agree. Yeah, Charles Cross. Both their interior linemen are terrible in Seattle. Terrible. Their O-line is horrible. They need more. Chase Greer, yes, we do. Brother Pickens is a diva. Chase, I appreciate the sub. Genty to Denver with Agbuga to Pittsburgh. I agree. I didn't hate a tight end to Denver. I like that pick for the Bengals. This is a tough one, guys. Genty feels like the obvious pick here. Genty or... Ibuka. Genty with Bo. Yeah, but they don't run the ball is the problem. Javonte, bad. Sean Payton does not have good running back schemes is the problem. He doesn't like his running backs. They really like Jaleel McLaughlin, and they just drafted the Notre Dame guy last year, too, right? Audric Estime. I think they're gonna go wide receiver for their quarterback. They're gonna go with another wide receiver for their quarterback. I don't hate tight end like Loveland here potentially, but I think they go wide receiver, and then that kind of puts Pittsburgh here. And then Pittsburgh stuck. No quarterback. No DB. No wide receiver. Look at Kamar, but he's a pass catcher. Kamar's never run for 1,000 yards. Ever. He doesn't know how to run the football. That's not smart. I don't see Ashton Genty falling out of the top 20, not going to lie. I think we're going to see the running backs fall. Javier. There's too many good ones. Or that was Juju who said it. Trade out. Yeah, this is probably... Pittsburgh does like to trade out here. Because you want to... If you're going to go wide receiver, Golden, you could slide back a couple spots. But if we're not, I think we can go Golden here. I'm okay with Matthew Golden at 21. Matthew Golden's a sure-handed receiver. Has a really good route tree. Did get banged up in the playoff game. But I like Matthew Golden. I think he's solid. Do you know if you can bet the coin flip at DraftKings? I would imagine. Whoever needs Genty trades with Pitt. Potentially. Or the Chargers just take Genty here at 22. Pittsburgh going DB. He can do it all, and that's what Denver needs at running back. I'm not going to argue that, but I think they go wide receiver. It's just like, they like their back. Sean Payton likes rotational backfields. The Justin Genty backfield, nope. Don't think so. Where do you have Travis going? I have Travis going 6 to the Raiders right now. Najee and Warren are both free agents. I think they bring back Najee. Like maybe they go Genty there. Packers go edge, yes. Packers go edge or wide receiver. I don't think the wide receivers are good enough here for the Packers to go wide receivers. Shamar Stewart's the one that's been flying up the draft board. Unfortunately, they already drafted Edrin Cooper last year, another Aggie. They're going to go Aggies. Now the Vikings are on the clock. They need a guard, defensive lineman, cornerback. Let's look at our tackles. Tackle. I'm not taking Gray Zabel. We're going to take a D lineman here. We can go Williams. We could go TJ Sanders. I kind of like TJ Sanders. 6'4", 290. Kind of like TJ Sanders. 6'3", 327. That's an anchor in the middle. Let's go Williams for my Vikings. Jeremiah Love, freshman, right? No, I think he's a sophomore. Yeah, back-to-back Aggie. Well, they took edge at the second round last year, I thought. Stewart's killing it at the Senior Bowl. Killing it at the Senior Bowl right now. His potential is way better than Jack Sawyer's. I agree, Jack Sawyer way more consistent. But I think the Packers are going to go with the upside. And I think having Edrin Cooper helps. Take the Oregon. Yup. Not after what I saw what my man Mike Green did to him today. Takes Harrison Phillips' jobs, or do you run a 4-3? No, we run a 3-4 multiple. We run a multiple front. It's Brian Flores. He's crazy, man. He runs everything. But yeah, I think we just need like a rotational guy, like another guy to pair with Harrison Phillips. He's getting old. Harrison Phillips is getting older, and they can rotate. They can play two tackles. We need a run stuffer. Run defense was good, but I like it. Let's look at Williams. His pass rush is okay, but just another big body in the middle. Like when Phillips went out, they were getting killed on the run game. Ravens going edge in the first round. Jack Sawyer's going to be on the board. Jack Sawyer and Nick Scorton. Nick Scorton pretty good against the run, too. Houston, Houston, Houston. What do we do with the Texans, guys? I don't think they go wide receiver. Do we go guard? Probably not. Not going Gray Zabel there. What's the D-line like? They obviously don't need... Houston's in a bad spot. Saying O-line here for Houston. So they're not going to go there. So they're going to go with one of the tackles. They're going to go with Gray Zabel then. Zabel was playing at guard today. Maybe they go Cornley. Maybe they move him inside. Mulligan's a tackle. 6'6", 317. Maybe they go Milliam. See, I need better projections. Probably trade out. Yeah, I need a guard. I don't know. I have to do more on these guys. Who's projecting as the guard? Left tackle. Okay. Millam's a left tackle. Played a little left guard. Played a lot of left tackle. What did Zabel play? Played left guard. We're going to go Zabel then. He played left tackle this year, but he played guard going in. We're going to go Zabel as the guard then. All right, you got to go tight end for Houston. No, I like Dalton Schultz. He's fine. I like tackle here. I like Corley here for the Rams. They can move him to right. They can play him at left. Eagles might trade up if the D-line's getting thin by the Texans pick team. I don't know if anybody's going to trade up with Howie anymore. Shout out Bison. Would have preferred Booker for Houston. I just need to look. Ravens go edge here. I think they go solid. Jack Sawyer. Solid. I think receiver. I don't think there's good receivers to take there for Houston at 25. D-line for the Vikings. Guard. Probably try. Yeah, try. Well, you're right. People don't pick up when Howie calls. Yep. Not anymore. Lions. What are the Lions doing? Now, the Lions are about to get decimated. Here in free agency, potentially. But I like Nick Scorton here. Let's go edge. Potentially go interior. I like edge there. Now, I think the Commanders here are going to sign a wide receiver. I think they go Jahdae Barron. I think they go corner. Maybe they go tackle, but I don't like any of the tackles. Bills, wide receiver, D-line, linebacker. What's our interior D-line looking like? Sanders? I don't hate Sanders. The Bills probably trading out here. Let's go Sanders, though. Cam Williams for Washington. Eagles got to go D-line, but there's no one left. Yeah, Commanders go corner. Hampton, not a bad pick for Washington. Yeah, I think that's... See, we're getting to the tough point where, like, free agency is really going to matter for, like, the later round picks. Free agency is really going to matter. The Texas tackle has some really good tape. Yeah, he's a right tackle. I could see that. He did get killed by Jack Sawyer in the biggest spot is the problem. He got killed in, like, the biggest spot. If they can't get an edge, they need more edge production. They got zero production from their pass rush this year, though. 2 of the receivers went down. Deep drafted defense and JD5, an elite running back, would be nasty. And T. Higgins. I kind of like B-Rob. I'm not giving up on B-Rob yet. Loveland on the board is a steal for whoever lands him. Yeah, Loveland's a big fucker. Eagles in a weird spot here. Let's go D lineman. Best available D lineman. I kind of like Walter Nolan better. The rotation of defensive linemen for the Eagles, for the 3 defensive linemen they have, that just got me excited. I just want, the Eagles are going to have the most insane front ever with D tackles. I don't know if they're going to cut. Can they cap save with Goddard? If they could cap save with Goddard, that would be a thing. Might lose Milton Williams. Milton Williams. Is that a lineman? $8 million in cap savings for Goddard. Yeah, I could see that. I could see the tight end and then they take Loveland there. I could see that. Yeah, D lineman. Walter Nolan's got some pretty, like, he fits that mold of what they do. He fits that Eagles front mold. Not sock. Maybe one day. I don't really do collabs with anybody yet, at least. But potentially in the future. Not going to rule out anything. Those Nolan. Yup, there you go, Nolan. And then they go Nolan and Carter. And they're losing Sweat. So Eagles going D-line probably. And they draft D-line as good as anybody. Knew you were going Chiefs on Wednesday. Dude, the only D-line I'm looking at on that Eagles front is Jalen Carter. The Georgia Dogs, though. I'm looking at their Georgia Dogs and their secondary, the Exciting Whites. And Quinion Mitchell. My favorite corner coming out last year. I loved Quinion Mitchell. He was by far my number 1 corner. By far. His tape was so good. Yeah, Walter. So then, Chiefs. Do the Chiefs take the replacement for Travis Kelce? Go Loveland? Chiefs could go tackle. Their tackles are so bad. Chiefs go left tackle. Chiefs go left tackle. Roman Wilson kicked Quinion bad at the Senior Bowl. Is there hope for him if these help me? Yeah, I mean, I like Roman Wilson. I thought he was okay. Thought he had potential. Him and Burton kind of felt like they were in that same kind of like sneaky. I think Andy goes tight end. Yeah, Andy could go tight end, especially after Kelce proposes. Proposes to T Swift. That's it. All right, we're coming up on 2 hours, so we're going to wrap this bad boy up here in a bit soon. Loveland to the Chiefs after, yup, there we go. Andy's always has an elite tight end. I do think they like their rotational tight ends. If anyone would look into the best tight end in the draft in the 30s, it would be the Chiefs. I think Warren's better than Loveland. Kelce will be back next year. Maybe. Andy invested the pass-catching tight end 25 years ahead. Andy did like his tight ends. Even in Philly, they had good tight ends. Loveland makes perfect sense. Okay, this is just a rough one. If there's any picks you missed. Obviously, things are going to get a lot more locked in when we get into the combine, free agency, all that good stuff. I figured that out. Yeah, Isaiah Bond, second round. Isaiah Bond, way too injury, way too much of a one-trick pony. I think. Aggie not a big wide receiver guy, always has a safety blanket tight end, true. But they've went wide receiver early the last few drafts, Worthy, Rice, Sky Moore, relatively early, I should say, for where the Chiefs are picking. All right, we're about to hit 2 hours, so that's guaranteed Jalen Milroe goes first round, no shot. No way. That would be insane if teams are that desperate for a quarterback. I mean, we saw Kenny Pickett be the only first-round quarterback taken in a draft. It's going to be something very similar to that. Teams will wait on some quarterbacks. Teams are not going to overdraft quarterbacks. And there's a pretty high saturation of quarterbacks. Not a lot of teams are drafted. Second and third round is when you get your bad quarterback backup, number 2 quarterbacks that you take a flyer on. Pickett sucks too. Hey, man, Pickett's one more NFC Championship games than Dak Prescott. All right, that's gonna do it for us tonight, guys. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. If you haven't already, drop a quick like on the stream. Helps the stream out tremendously. I know everybody chat and sub, but if you're watching, you haven't subbed already, think about hitting that sub button. We got daily sports content. Our sports stat fact of the day just dropped at 11. It was about our GOAT, Jaden Daniels, doing great work. What else? Oh, yes. New Super Bowl incentive. I'll put that up so everybody can see it if you haven't. People are asking, I will be live streaming after the Super Bowl, but for the next 9 days till February 9th, so a little more than that, the counter's off. Any donations to the channel, that means bits, gems, super chats, stickers, channel memberships, anything like that for over the next 10 days is going to go into the pot. If we get to $400, I will stream the entire Super Bowl live as it's happening for you goobers. And each milestone, so if we get $100, I'll do the fourth quarter. If we get $250, I'll do the second half. And if we get to the 400, it'll be the whole game. So don't feel like you have to donate it, but if you guys do, a little incentive for you guys just to get it there, because I know people were looking for a live stream during the Super Bowl. But we will be live. What's today? Wednesday? We'll be live. I'll be live probably Friday night again, Saturday, maybe during the Senior Bowl all day, no Sunday. And then Super Bowl week, we will be cooking all week, all Super Bowl week. I'll probably be streaming like 4 or 5 times during the Super Bowl week. I don't know how much we can talk about, but we're going to talk about everything, I guess. Videos, breaking it down, and then obviously live after the big game, if we haven't hit the incentives to break everything down. Brandon, appreciate that. Cool Vikings fan. No disrespect shown to any team. You got a permanent sub. Appreciate that love and blessing as always, brother. Guys, go check out Elite Division Sports. My man has been cooking, and he's been a big supporter of the channel. Always in the chat, putting out content for you guys. So go give him a check out if you like. So again, thanks to everybody stopping by. I'll see you guys again Friday night, Saturday maybe. We'll figure it out. We're kind of winging it. Maybe we'll watch the Senior Bowl and some college basketball Saturday. I don't know. Sunday, nobody wants to watch the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl sucks. Maybe we could have like a drinking game for the Pro Bowl or something, even though I'm not drinking. But we could have some fun. So again, like, subscribe, and share.